Hello, my name is Rodney. I am from the pOedGamer YouTube channel, and today, since it's October, Halloween's just around the corner, I'm going to go over my top 10 games for playing during Halloween party or just Halloween themed get together. And the reason why I'm doing this is because Halloween has always been my favorite holiday. I've always enjoyed Halloween. Going up as a kid, going out dressing up, going trick-or-treating. All these things have always just been really enjoyable to me. I love horror movies, anything from zombie movies to like Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger, all those. My favorite is Pinhead from the Hellraiser series. I've actually got a Pandora's box from that movie series that I really enjoy. But my number 10 choice is Humans. This is a game by Twilight Creations, and they actually, in this game, you are a zombie and you go around trying to kill the humans. So that's really one reason why I like this, is because you are the zombie in this one. You're not the good guy, you are the bad guy. But you can actually combine this with the zombies game, and you can have two factions, like the zombies versus the humans, and depending on your win condition, to see who wins first. And that's actually pretty fun. I've only played that a few times, but actually just playing humans by itself is still really fun also. Let's see here. My number 9 choice is actually really a small game that I originally found as a free print and play. It's called Zombie in My Pocket, and it is very simple, just simple cards. I think you can still get it free off of Board Game Geek, and it's just a single player game. And then I found somebody posted a link, or actually I think in related on the Board Game Geek page, I found the Zombie in My Pocket had a multiplayer version, and I picked this up, and it's really fun. Basically, it's a short little game. I think the shortest game I ever had was 5 minutes, because we had a group of people that just kept running and nobody wanted to fight, so I died first because I fought, and everybody else just kept running constantly, and the next person died, and then they never would fight for anything. So that didn't last very long. But even on the front, it actually even says 1 to 8 victims, which is kind of how it is, because it's very hard to win sometimes, depending on how you do things. And yeah, it's very, even when you read the front of it, it's very funny. It's like non-cooperative survival game, and so yeah, it's a very, very enjoyable, great filler game if you're trying to just like you have a few minutes to kill before somebody else gets there. It's a great game to pull out for that. My number 8 choice is the Resident Evil deck building game. I actually have most of the expansions to this. I don't have the Mercenaries expansions, the only one I don't have. I like this game because I love the Resident Evil video games. I have Resident Evil posters and umbrellas and watches, and I think the only video game of it I don't have is Revelations on the Wii U. I have most of the others. But yeah, this is a really good game. It's a little bit different because you actually have a mansion deck that's randomized that you pull your zombies and creatures from. Depending on what scenario you're playing, you're either trying to kill a specific monster or another win condition, and that actually makes it really fun. It's a little bit different twist on a deck building game that I haven't seen in many others. But yeah, make sure you read the rules fully, because the first time me and my friends played this, we didn't fully read the cards, so the game lasted. After like the 4-hour mark, we're doing something wrong, and we started reading more and saw exactly what we were doing wrong and why what was taking so long. My number 7 choice is it's kind of a sci-fi game, really, but it still has a horror aspect to it. Escape from the Aliens in Outer Space. When you actually open this box up and look at it, there's actually here it says you got 8 character cards, 6 escape hatch cards, 25 danger sector cards, 12 item cards, 30 map sheets, and 8 pencils. And when you open it, there's like nothing in it. It's very, I mean, you got a stack of cards maybe that thick. But what makes this game so good is the idea behind it. You have a map, and you're trying to, and everybody gets a role. Like you're either an alien or a human, and you're trying to escape. And you don't know who is who. So when you go into a room, and there's somebody else in there, if you're an alien, you can try to shoot the other person. Well, they may be one of your teammates. You just don't know. And there's other versions when you get to one of the hatches, it could be locked. And then there's other rules you can add in to where once you get to a hatch and you go through it, that hatch is no longer useful. Like the next human that gets to it can't use it. So it's very good. It's kind of a game to where it's like a deduction game. You're trying to figure out who's who and where they're located. And that's what makes it very good. Okay. My number 6 game, trying to make sure I got them sitting here on the floor below me. I'm trying to make sure I don't mix everything up, is a relatively new game to my collection. I played it at Gen Con last year in 2013. Yeah, 2013. And it is Dark Gothic. I really like this game because it just oozes theme. It's a deck building game that you're trying to kill a big bad monster, the Headless Horseman, or any other like harpies, or any other type of mythical creature. So that's one reason I like it. It's very similar to Ascension with some like little rules tweaks, but I like this a little bit better than Ascension, mainly because of the theme behind it. And the theme is what really helps with this game. Sometimes you're playing like Ascension, you're just playing. It's like, okay, the theme I almost ignore. Sometimes I'll just ignore it because it doesn't really come into play very often. But in this, you have allies and you have the monsters and everything that are trying to kill you and things like that. It's very fun because the theme is always in it. You always know what your goal is. You actually have the guy you're trying to kill on the board, and the game keeps going until you kill him. So that's one really good that's one reason why I like this game so much. But yeah, my number 6 choice is Dark Gothic. My number 5 choice is a game that I play alone more than I do with other people, mainly because it's more of a simulation than a cooperative game. It is All Things Zombie. This game is very good because of the simulation aspect to it. It's a human trying to survive, get away from the zombies, and the board is really nice. The components are really nice. The main issue I have with this game is that the cards have sharp corners, and I hate cards with sharp corners. I always end up messing up the corners, but sleeving them kind of helps with that. But still, yet the sharp corners are not going to survive very long if you play this game a lot. But I do play this game more by myself than I do with other people, just because it's more thinky than most other games that are on my list here for this. But this is another game. Yeah, I've actually was in the middle of a game last night and ended up dying. So that's the reason why it's boxed up and not on my table right now. My number 4 game is Letters from Whitechapel. This is a one versus many game. You have one person is Jack the Ripper, and everybody else are detectives trying to track him down. You have a map of London on the board, and you try to basically figure out where the detectives try to figure out where the home base is for Jack, and then he tries to escape the cops without getting caught. So it's a very good game, very good deduction game. There's not a huge horror aspect to it, but the aspect is that you're going around, you're committing the murders, and it's very fun. I really like it. If you have people that are really into like strategy and taking down every little detail, it's very hard to win as the bad guy. You pretty much, they'll track you down. This makes it gets very easy for them to track you down. But if you're absorbing the theme of it and you play it, and if you win, you win. If you don't type thing. It's very good because it's always like, oh, we almost had him, and things like that. After you get done, because you keep track of where you're at all times. You're on this little sheet, just of paper. And when it's over, it's great to go back and go, oh, I was right next to you. If I would have attacked instead of investigating, I would have killed you. So yeah, that's one thing that makes this game very good, is even after the game, you still can look back and see exactly how close you were to capturing Jack at any given time. My number 4 game is kind of like a Yahtzee variant, because you just roll dice and everything. But it is Elder Sign. I like this game because of the theme. I really like Cthulhu. Love the Lovecraft books. I've read most of them, and this game is very similar to the feel of it. I mean, like the theme of it. I mean, it's Arkham Horror. But like I've heard a lot of people say, I've never played Arkham Horror. I really want to, but I've never had the opportunity yet, because I think just because of the setup time and everything. But I've heard people that actually play it say that you can actually play this game the time it takes to set up Arkham Horror. I don't know if that's true, but from what I've heard, it does seem to be true. And they've released a few expansions for Elder Sign now, and I haven't had a chance to pick those up, but from what I've read, they seem very enjoyable. Also, I like this game because you can play it single player. Sometimes I can't get my group together, and I will play some games single player, and that's another option with this game that I really do enjoy. My number 2 choice is another game in the Cthulhu mythos, and that is Mansions of Madness. I like this game because of the one versus many aspect to it. You have one person running everything, and everybody else trying to complete specific objectives. There's the miniatures in the game are really detailed. They're unpainted, which I actually prefer, because many times I've gotten games that do have painted miniatures and they are subpar in my opinion. So I actually prefer them unpainted, so I can paint them myself if I wish, or I can leave them unfinished if I want. But this game it's very fun. You have just the mansion you put together, and just different little clues are everywhere. It's just a very good game. Also, like, you have the sanity, and like it builds suspense really well. It's not one of those games to where you just play and it's like a roll move type thing. It's actually builds a lot of suspense into the game that you can actually actually gives you a sense of dread sometimes when you're going a certain place. Like, oh, if I go there, I might lose more sanity, or I might do this, and you just don't know how things are going to turn out. It's like one of those games that even if you play everything perfectly, you're not playing against the game, you're playing against another human, which actually adds more randomness to it, because somebody that's played a lot as the main bad guy, I'm trying to remember his name right now, it's failing me, because it's been, I think the last time I played this was last Halloween, so it's been a year since I've played this, so the rules are a little bit fuzzy, but it's very, very fun. And even if you do play everything perfectly, you still may lose just because of some things other people are playing have done, or the main bad guy has actually just outplayed you or tricked you into certain maneuvers that you shouldn't have taken. But okay, that's number 2. And my number 1 game, if you kind of notice, probably 1, 2, 3, 4, well, only 4. Well, 5 of them. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of the games deal with zombies. And my number 1 choice deals with zombies also. I really like zombies. When everybody's like, man, there's so many zombie games out. Who are buying all these? Well, I'm buying them, honestly. I really love zombies, zombie movies, games, all of these things. These are things I've really enjoyed. It's just the idea of it is very fascinating to me. And my number 1 choice I like is mainly because of the theme. The strategy behind the game, if you take out the theme, the game is not that great. But when you add the theme into it, it makes it so much better. And I love B-horror movies. I do. They're some of my favorite movies, like horrible acting and cheesy storylines, and that's kind of what this is. And if you can get everybody in the game to pretend that they're in a cheesy B-horror movie, it makes it even better. And that is Last Night on Earth. In this game, you have 1 person playing the zombies, or 2 people playing the zombies, depending on how many people you have in the game. And everybody else picks a survivor. And very fun. My favorite time I played this game, there's the jock and the cheerleader, and the 2 people that playing them role played that they were boyfriend and girlfriend, and midway through the game they broke up, and well, the cheerleader was played by a guy and the jock was played by a girl, and so they break up, and the cheerleader leaves, and the jock's in this is in one of the buildings, and I played a card that locked the door, so he tried to get out and he couldn't. And then, somebody else, she kind of played him as a dumb jock, and it was very funny. We all were laughing, and so he couldn't get out. So he was like, okay, so he goes around in the room doing things, and then somebody else walks into the building, and she broke it, like, how did you come in the building? I couldn't get the door open. So that person left, and when he tried to leave again, I played another card that locked that door. And so she kept role-playing it as the door was a pull and he was trying to push. So it was very funny, and things like that add to the game a lot. It's not just something that's like, oh, here's this, oh, I can move this many spaces, oh, there's zombies there, I'll shoot. If you're doing that, the game would be very boring. But if you can get into the game and role-play it, it makes the game so much better, and it's phenomenal. I've had more fun playing that game than probably most of my other games. But those are my top 10 games for playing during Halloween. I have other games I play for parties and things like that for Halloween, but I believe these are the ones that I would enjoy the most. And the other games I have that I play are kind of like there's Dracula. It's a 2-player game, so I can't really bring it out during parties. It's more of something that me and my wife or me and one of my friends can play, but it's not something you'd really want to bring out during a party. But hope you enjoyed it, and till next time.